Hey girlies, I'm back and today we're going to be doing a copy and paste Chicana inspired makeup look. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to prime your face. I'm using the e.l.f. primer. Now you don't have to use the exact products I use in this video, just as long as you have something similar. Your makeup will probably come out the same. Now I'm using this Cover Fix, I think it was, foundation. And you want to put that all over your face. You want to make sure that you dampen your beauty blender, because this will allow you to blend your foundation faster and more smoother. I even kind of tap it on my eyebrows. I actually find that I like putting on my foundation before I do my eyebrows. I used to do my eyebrows first, but I feel like for that full coverage, do the foundation first. Now I'm going to be using this e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. I got it in neutral brown. I recommend that you use an eyebrow color that's a little bit darker than your hair color, just because it makes it stand out more. It makes it more bold. With this spoolie, I'm just brushing out my eyebrows. I brush them to the top and then I swoop them to the side, and then I go ahead and use the other end and I fill out my tail because I shaved the end of my eyebrow, you guys, so I have to fill it in. And you can fill in your eyebrows as thick, as thin as you want them. And the darkest part of your eyebrow is always going to be the tail. The middle is going to have less pressure, and then the least amount of pressure is going to be in the front, because we want kind of like an ombre eyebrow. Especially the front, you want to kind of blend it with the spoolie. Now I'm using the CoverGirl True Blend Concealer, and I recommend that you get a shade lighter than the foundation that you use, because it's going to create kind of like a contrast between your bronzer. And you guys, when I do this look, I put a generous amount of concealer under my eyes. It's like a huge triangle, and it goes all the way up to your cheekbones. The higher you put it on your cheekbones, the more lifted your face is going to look. I put it at the top of my lip, my chin, my forehead, and then any acne spots that I might have. Now with like this small brush, you want to make sure it's a small brush, you're going to go underneath your eyebrow and you're going to carve out your eyebrows. So you're just going to put concealer underneath. And then I know some people, they prefer to put foundation at the top of their brows. But for me, I put concealer both at the bottom and the top of my eyebrow. I don't know why, I like the way it stands out more. But you can for sure use foundation at the top. And make sure that when you're doing this, you're going as close as you can to the eyebrow, right? Because it's going to clean them up. And then you're going to put it at the front as well, because once you blend that concealer in, it's going to create even more ombre effect. I also kind of put the excess on my forehead. Then we're taking this cream contour and we're gonna put it on our cheeks and then your forehead. And everybody's placement is gonna be different depending on, your facial structure. That's just where I put it. I like to put it underneath my lip because it makes your lips look more plump. And then on your chin, just to make everything look more snatched and lifted. Now I'm going with the beauty blender and I'm going to blend out all the concealer except for my eyebrows. We do that after. And we also blend out the contour. Once you're done blending this out, we're gonna blend out the concealer that we put under our eyebrows and on top of our eyebrows. We're gonna be using this kind of dense small brush, and we're just gonna tap it out until it's blended. I like to wet the brush a little bit with setting spray, or you could use water, but setting spray is the best. And you just tap it out until it's smooth. The reason I don't use a beauty blender is because sometimes the concealer will get on the eyebrows, so the brush is more precise. Now we're using the same concealer that we used previously, and we're putting it underneath our contour. This is going to create a more carved out look. And you just want to put that right underneath your contour. And then with some translucent powder, we're going to start baking. So we're going to go underneath our eyes and we drag it up. And we also kind of put it on the side of the nose because it's going to make your nose look snatched. Okay? And then you're going to want to put it at the top of your lips, your chin, and basically everywhere that we put the concealer, that's where you're going to put your translucent powder, because that's going to be the lighter points of your face, or your forehead. Now we're taking some bronzer, and I go over all the spots that I contoured, and it just makes it look a little bit more darker and stand out more. It just makes it look more bold. So I'm putting it on my cheeks, my forehead, under my lip, basically all the spots that I put that contour. Then again, with the same bronzer, I'm going to go in with the small brush, and I'm going to start on my nose contour. So I start off with a line kind of on the side of my nose. So it's basically going to be two lines and then the bottom, as I'm doing right now. And then kind of like a circle at the tip of your nose. Yep. I start off with a little bit, and then the more comfortable I get with where I put my placement, I put more product. And then something that makes your face look more snatched is putting the bronzer more at the top, kind of in your eyebrows, as you can see. That makes your face look more carved out. Now I'm dusting away all the translucent powder that we put on, and as you can see, it's gonna leave like a residue of a lighter color, so that way your face is kind of contrasting with the bronzer. And now we're gonna take some blush, and this one is a Milani one. I don't go too heavy on the blush for this look. You just kind of put it on top of the, like, where we put the contour or bronzer, and I just kind of pack it on there, and then I put it on my nose a little bit, and then I go back in sometimes with the bronzer on my nose, because sometimes when you put blush on your nose, it'll take away that bronzer. And then you go in with the translucent powder again, and I just kind of put powder in the middle of my nose and the tip. And then now we're going in with the same bronzer, and for eyeshadow, we focus more on the outer ends of our eyes, and then we kind of do a gradient towards the middle. So we put the most product down the sides, and then towards the center, we put less pressure. Now, using the same palette, I'm gonna kind of take like this shimmery eyeshadow and I put it in the inner corners of my eyes and kind of drag it up to the eyeshadow, and then I put it at the tip of my nose and along the bridge of my nose, and then I take more translucent powder and I put it kind of outside the lines of where I put the contour or the bronzer. You want to let it sit on your nose, and then you want to smooth it out or dust it away with a big brush again. Now we're gonna do eyelashes. I'm gonna try to link these in the description box. I literally got these off Shein, and I also got the eyelash glue from Shein, and I love these lashes. They work really good. And for me, I like to put eyelash glue on my eyelid as well as the lash. I recommend that when you're first starting, you guys use the type of eyelash glue that turns clear, because I've tried to use the black one and that literally gets everywhere, and if you mess up on your eyelashes, your whole makeup look is ruined basically, because it's gonna smear everywhere. Make sure you're trimming your lashes before you put them on. I like to do the inner corner. You can also get some tweezers and that'll help you out. Try to put them as close as you can to your natural eyelash. Sometimes I still mess up and I put them a little bit too high, and you kind of, something that helps me is that I glue it in the middle and then I glue in the corners. Now we're gonna take some mascara, just any mascara that you have, and we're only going to apply it to the roots of the eyelash. We're not gonna put it on like as if it was actual mascara, just in the roots to kind of match the natural lash with the fake lash. Now I'm mixing these three colors, and it's gonna give you like a dark brown. And I'm showing you two different methods that you could do your wing. You could do it with eyeshadow as I'm doing now with this slanted brush, or you can also do eyeliner. I show you how to do the eyeliner after. There's some pictures where you could see that I'm only doing the eyeshadow and not the eyeliner. It really depends how bold you want the look. I'm also dragging it a tiny bit into my waterline. Well, not on my waterline, but underneath my waterline. Then with another brush, I'm taking a tiny bit of red and I put that underneath my waterline again, and that kind of makes my eyes stand out. I don't know, I really like that color. If you're doing eyeliner, you could use any eyeliner really that you have. This one I'm using She Glam eyeliner, and you kind of just do a triangle. I draw out the triangle starting from like the end of my eye, and you kind of slant it up, and then you do the top of the triangle, and then you fill it out. That's the best way I could explain it. I'm barely just learning how to do eyeliner, but I recommend you guys, if you are barely starting to do eyeliner, doing the lashes first and then just doing a little wing like this. Who's gonna know that you didn't put any on your eyelid, you know? Now this is an extra step, but me personally, I like to swear I have a dermal, because that's one of my dream piercings. So I just take a rhinestone and I put it kind of on my cheekbone, and I glue it with eyelash glue. Then I'm taking the She Glam kind of white pencil, it's kind of like the NYX one, and I'm putting it in my inner corners of my eyes to kind of make them stand out, kind of like highlight underneath my eyebrow a little bit, on my tip of my nose, and then the bridge of my nose as well. And you just want to blend it out with your finger. Now I'm using a dark brown lip liner. It's actually, once I bought it, I realized that it was actually an eyeliner, but you know what, it stays on longer than an actual lip liner. So when I do my lip liner, I don't really define my cupid's bow too much. I kind of smooth it out a little bit, but not where it's like a full just circle. And I just make sure that I don't overline a little bit too much. I just overline a tiny bit, but not too much. And then once you're done doing your line, you kind of fluff it out a little bit towards the middle, as you can see. By fluff it out, I mean just the inner corners, kind of putting more product. And then after you're done with that, you're gonna take a brush and you're gonna kind of smooth it out. You don't want it to look not too unblended. You kind of want it to look like an ombre, to be honest with you. And then we're gonna take this like light pink, not really light pink, it's like a pinky nude, and we're gonna put it in the inside where we didn't apply the brown lip liner. And then you kind of put it everywhere, except we're not going to touch the outer line of your lips. And then you kind of just smooth it out with your finger to blend it. Now we're taking some concealer and we're going to put it in the most inner part of your lip, and you want to just tap it in. I feel like doing this makes your lips look bigger, and it also adds on to the Chicana look, because you know the Chicanas, they had their lip liner. And then with some translucent powder that we used earlier, we're gonna put it on our lips. You could for sure leave it just matte, but I always like to have my lip glosses on. We just dust it away. The translucent powder helps it so that it doesn't smear everywhere, and your lip liner stays in place. And then I like to put moles with the same brown lip liner that we used, or you could also use eyeliner. Well, this one's eyeliner too, but you know what I mean. And then I use this LA Girl shimmer spray, and it has little like glitters inside of it, and it looks super pretty, especially under the light. I fan it out, and boom, baddie lips. Now, since I like to use lip gloss, I have this Wet n Wild one that I got from Five Below. It's like a Taurus one, and it's just a little pink one, and I put it in the kind of pink part of my lip. I also typically use the clear lip gloss. That's like my staple, but I ran out. But yeah, this is the makeup look. Thank you guys so much for showing so much support to me and my channel. I hope you guys like this tutorial, and I hope you try it. Bye.